What's going on, guys? T-Mart here, and this episode of Jumps and Spots is brought to you guys by Mountain Dew. You can unlock custom in-game rewards for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare at FuelUpForBattle.com, so make sure you guys check it out. But anyway, today, we are going to be taking a look at the map Comeback. This is one of my favorite maps in the game. I've got quite a few solid spots that I think you guys will find very, very useful. So let's hop into it. Now, starting off here, these chains. This set right here isn't as big of a deal. The ones over on the other side of the map that I'll show you guys later are really, really important. But I want to show you guys that every time somebody walks through these chains, listen up. You hear that? The clinky sound? That is extremely, extremely useful. It's a huge audio clue that you want to use when you're playing this game. So if you're, in this area of the map and you hear that clinking sound, that means there's an enemy that's somewhere around these chains. If you hear it over on the other side of the map, I'll show you guys the spot where they are over there later. But it's honestly really, really useful, and it's gotten me quite a few kills. So just be aware of that because it is pretty loud and it's a pretty big deal. Now, moving on over here. This area over here is pretty cool. Underneath this thing, especially when the tidal wave comes in, not a lot of people come around here, so sometimes I'll come down here and call in kill streaks and stuff like that. So it's a pretty little, safe spot if you need to duck away from all the craziness for a few seconds. So keep that in mind. This helicopter here, I want to call it a warbird, but it's not really a warbird. I'm not sure what this thing is. It's kind of useful, I guess. There is a hard point that comes in right here. There's also a momentum spot that's there and there, I think, or maybe it's just around that corner. I don't remember exactly where it is. If you get up here to protect those objectives, it's not too bad. Otherwise, it's just kind of a campy spot. Sometimes you'll see snipers out here on the tail trying to pick people off in this corner. So just keep in mind you can get up here, and if the situation arises, you can use it to your advantage. Now, if the hard point is right here, I've got a really useful spot for you guys. Or if in general, like the enemy team is going to be coming through this way, what I like to do is I'll lay down right here, and you guys can see directly down that hallway. Or if they flank off to the left over here, you can watch their footsteps, and you can just kind of follow them and take them out. So this is a pretty solid spot to have an advantage on the enemies. Now, moving in over here, this spot isn't really useful for pubs. It's more useful for like game battles, or if you're in a 1v1 in search and destroy or something like that. Maybe you're 1v1ing a friend. I don't know what's going on. But if you're over here, you can actually see, ooh, that's kind of gross. Look at all those creepy crawlies. But you can see up to the top, kind of like ground level of this. So you can see past this yellow pipe. We'll go upstairs and I'll show you guys. You can see the opposite way as well, which is a little bit more useful. So if you come over here, you're going to be able to see that if you're up here, you can see people down there that are running through that hallway. So that's just kind of useful if you happen to catch a glimpse of an enemy, or like I said, if they're in a 1v1, you can kind of see, where these people are trying to go. It's kind of an interesting little strategy. Not all that useful, but who knows? The situation may arise at some point. Now, coming over here, this spot is the bane of my existence. I absolutely hate people that just sit in this spot all day long. It's either teammates or enemies. There's always going to be somebody in here. They sit here in this window like this, and they sit here right here, just watching this whole area. They have great cover. It's really hard to take them out at times. I want to show you guys what I like to do. So if I'm coming from this side, rather than what most people tend to do, which is jumping like this and trying to take them out, if they're bad, you'll be able to get them that way, but oftentimes, they're going to be able to get you. You literally have no cover. They have all the cover in the world, so usually they'll be able to take you out. What I'll do is I'll come across this way, I'll hop up right here, and then you can just walk up this and check this out. Boom. You have the total advantage over them. They aren't going to expect to see you over here on this far side, and you can kind of, pop in and out, use this as cover. Plus, you're not making a lot of noise by boost jumping all over the place because you can just, kind of hop up like that. So, yeah, that's a pretty solid spot. If you're over here, what I'll do is rather than, jumping up in their face like this, which is what everybody does, which is, usually you'll die doing that, you can just kind of hold A and walk forward like this, and you can take them out if they're, right here on the edge, or if you back up into this corner, you can kind of see the whole thing, take them out, hop up, boom, you're good to go. So that's pretty solid. Now, over here, this thing is really, really useful. After the tidal wave comes in, there's like a giant car that sits diagonally on this thing. So it's got quite a bit of cover. You can use it to kind of, head glitch like this, get a little bit of cover to take out enemies that are over here on these fields. Usually there's a lot of snipers over here. An even better spot I like to use when I can is to come over here and just sit like this. This gives you a lot better cover. You're kind of in the shadows, a little bit more difficult to see. It's pretty solid. There's a room down here, kind of like a secret little room a lot of people don't even know about. I'll call in kill streaks in here as well. When the tidal wave has come in, all of this is flooded up to like right here. You guys can see like the algae line there. So right now you're above water, but then when you come down here, you're below water. And you have to swim through this pipe to get out, or swim through the pipe to get in. So it's kind of like a little secret entrance, but you got to be careful, because if you aren't like on your game. If you hesitate at all while going through there, you're going to die because it takes so long. You're just going to end up drowning. So you got to be careful there. Now, another thing I just actually forgot to mention to you guys over here. There are 3 explosive barrels on this map. They don't really look like explosive barrels, but you guys will see. I want to get out of range, so I don't want to kill myself. They've got a pretty big blast radius. So, like, check out this one right here. We'll blow this one up. Boom. Look at that. That's pretty solid. We were just barely out of the blast radius there, but anybody I'd say probably within this area, this giant circle here, would have died, which is pretty cool. So this one's not too bad. It's kind of useful. There's one over here that's even more useful, though, and that's that one right there. Yeah, so sometimes there are objectives like hard points and stuff in here, or sometimes they're just enemies that like to sit and camp in this window and watch as people come through. This thing is your best friend. You just go ahead and shoot that thing. You're going to blow up that entire... Check out that blast radius. Like, how insane is that? So, yeah, you're going to be able to take out pretty much anybody in that room with that thing. Another strategy I'll use sometimes is if there's somebody in that window, I'll kind of come across here, and you can kind of try to pick them off like this, or you can actually hop up on this and then crouch down. You have a complete full view of that window as well as the doorway there, which is not too bad. You're kind of shooting through this wire, which it's a little bit harder to see you through that. So, that's pretty useful. Now, moving on over here. Nothing really too special in terms of this area. I mean, oftentimes we'll be pushing around this side of the map. You're going to come up like this, and obviously you're going to use as much as you can in terms of cover. Sometimes I'll hop up on this one. This one's not too bad. You can kind of peek up. Nothing too special. This one over here is actually pretty solid. If you're already spawning over here, you're trying to, you know, protect this hard point or whatever, you hop up on this and boom, check that out. You can see all the way over to that really popular spot. You can see people in the second story there. You can see people coming across this way. People, if you stand up, you can see people running across that way. So that's not too bad. Moving on this way. This spot is one I'll use a lot, so after I've kind of, you know, cleared this area, I'll come up here. You can hop up on this, crouch down, and boom, check that out. You got a really nice little spot to kind of, you know, just barely peek out over the enemies. Over here, not really too much. This building, if you guys have played a hard point or anything where there's an objective around here, you guys know this is one of the most powerful spots on the map. It's really hard to take you out. The only way people are going to kill you is if they grenade you, because you have a perfect little spot here to watch, both from underground over here as well as coming over this way. And moving on this way, obviously this is a really, really good spot to kind of push up and check for enemies. Another one that's not really as popular, but I also use a lot, is if I'm pushing this way, a lot of times enemies will be up there and kind of coming across this catwalk and stuff. So what I'll do is you can get behind this to have a little bit of cover, you know, make sure everything's good. And then you can hop up on this right here. If we get in range of it, boom, there it is. So boom, check this out. You have a lot of cover. You can still kind of see people. You'll be able to see people's heads as they're jumping across. And then if you want to, you know, get up to get a better view, you can just hop up like this and boom, you've got a great line of sight all the way across all these little flat tops over here. Drop down for cover. And if they try to flank you, you can just hop up like this and you got a great spot to take out people on that side, which is pretty solid. And then finally, I think one of the last things I want to show you guys before we show you guys the second set of chains is right here. This little battery pack thing, I'm going to call it, I'm not sure what it is actually pretty useful. If you know somebody's going to be like coming through this way, you can actually lay down in this and you can see them before they can see you. They're kind of going to see your body once they get up here, but it's going to be enough that it's going to make them hesitate. So you're going to be able to pop up and have first shot on them. And you can obviously also do it the opposite way, just like this. If somebody's going to be coming around this corner, pop up and take them out. It's just, it gives you a slight advantage because they're going to think like, oh, that's not a body. Oh, wait, yeah, it is. And it's just going to make them hesitate for 1 second. Now, finally, the last thing I want to show you guys is that second set of chains, as well as a final little explosive barrel. This explosive barrel is not useful at all. It's this one right here. I don't think I've ever used that to my advantage, so, you know, just watch out for that thing, though. And then also these chains. These are the ones that are most useful because everybody runs through them. When you're running up like this, you want to go straight down the middle towards that opening. So literally everybody always runs through that set of 4 chains both ways. So if you're in this area, I mean, I'm telling you, it, you know, sounds for quite a ways away. So if you're over here, you'll be able to hear it. I think if you're over here, you'll be able to hear it. So just if you're in this area and you hear that clinking sound, it's not just a random clinking on the side of the map somewhere. It means somebody has run through these chains recently and they're in the area. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, there you guys have it. That, my friends, is Jumps and Spots for the map Defender. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys learned something new you can use the next time you play this map. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you all later. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Peace out, guys.